This is a big shakeup in science fiction publishing. John Scalzi's blog was a spot where everybody was like, this is the spot to be. If you ever worked with publicists in the mainstream science fiction industry, they would always query John Scalzi to try to get a spot on his whatever blog, to try to sell you some books as a sort of promotional tool. It was like the main spot to go. Well, he's pretty much shutting it down at this point as he's having his daughter Athena take over. And I've done some research that his blog traffic has been declining at a rapid clip in recent years. It's like people just got absolutely sick of his insufferable political posting all the time, his whining about Donald Trump, and he's turned off a lot of people who originally read his books because if you look at it, like The Old Man's War was a military science fiction, and as far as military science fiction goes, you've got a pretty sizable conservative audience reading that kind of stuff. So when you go full woke-tard like he has, guess what? Those people tune out, and that's been happening a lot with this man's career. As much as Tor Books has been propping him up with multi-million-dollar contracts, it's just not going well for what he's doing right now. And of course, he's just absolutely shutting this blog down. It's over. Very interesting stuff we'll get into in just a moment. Please hit the like and subscribe button here as we talk about all things in science fiction. Really appreciate you guys for being there. And guys, this is my Substack, which is now the most powerful blog in science fiction. We cover science fiction news, science fiction books, and things like that nobody else does. It's in the description below, and we are just crushing John Scalzi and his whatever blog in views at this point. We deserve a Hugo Award, I think, at this juncture, but of course the establishment isn't going to vote for us because we call them out on all their nonsense. I'm a science fiction author myself, and I would love for you to check out my books. If you like The Old Man's War, Scalzi's only good book, check out The Aritian War. This is a 3-book series. It's a space opera that really builds up, and that whole trilogy, you'll love it if you, and especially when you get through to the end. I really build up a lot, and it pays off so big. I'm actually writing a sequel trilogy right now that is spinning out of this as a space exploration sort of thing, because I want to explore strange new worlds, my friends. Since Star Trek is no longer doing so, they're only exploring strange new genders. We are trying to be the difference in independent science fiction, and it all starts right here. So this will be in the description below. Grab it. It's on ebook, print, and audio. Support our channel. Support real science fiction by people who don't hate you. Really appreciate all the readers out there. You're awesome. And look, if you're a liberal guy who's here because it said John Scalzi on it, just check it out. I think you'll enjoy it. I don't turn anybody away. I want everybody to read my books. You see how refreshing that is? Can you imagine Tor Books and John Scalzi saying something like that? No, you can't. And that's why he's losing his readership at such a rapid clip. As I said at the beginning of this video, John Scalzi used to be known as the most powerful blogger in science fiction. His decline's been a rapid one in recent years, and now it seems he's thrown in the towel as his daughter Athena has announced she'll be taking over the whatever blog going forward. In 2012, John Scalzi's blog was the place to be for anyone interested in science fiction. His blog popularity and traffic as an influencer led him to getting massive multi-million-dollar contracts at Tor Books, and industry insiders gave him multiple Hugo Awards for his service. In 2016, he revealed a small chink in his armor in his online presence. He reported his blog traffic was actually falling. And this is his whatever blog, if you've not been here before. He used to do these posts every single year where he'd talk about what his top 10 posts of the years were and what the social media stats were so you could see. And a lot of it up until 2016, he was bragging about growing and the like. There were some commentaries out there that were saying some of his numbers were a little fabricated. But at that point, you have all this where he's talking about what's going on. And of course, in 2016, his top posts are something you see. The Cinemax theory of racism, Trump, the GOP, and the fall, straight white male, the lowest difficult setting there is, thoughts and prayers. You never know just how you look through other people's eyes. Clinton and Sanders, my endorsement for President Hillary Clinton, being poor. And so here you go. Most of his stuff right here is now just like anti-conservative, anti-Christian, anti-white male stuff as he's trying to virtue signal to the industry and not real readers. And at this point, he saw his first decline ever, and a big one in 2016, where in 2015 he had 5.8 million viewers, close to 500,000 a month. Then when he dropped at this point, he went down to 5.1 million views, a huge decline. That's like 22%, my friends. And it's been declining even more since then. At this point, it's gotten so bad he doesn't report his blog stats at the end of the year anymore. He gives life updates now. So you can live, laugh, love. Here's him and his wife right here who wears the pants in the family, it looks like. And you can see, visited Iceland, was nominated for Hugo and Locus Awards, starred a villain, went back to bestseller lists. my audio novella. And so he doesn't actually talk about anything anymore, but you can kind of read between the lines about what's going on with the blog and social media in general. He says, on a personal level, I had a couple friends become highly public cautionary tales. In this, he's referencing Neil Gaiman and all the weird little things that were going on with him, all the sexual misconduct allegations that he had. And John Scalzi, of course, did a nasty blog where he virtue signaled about it, but like he very much steered the topic to being self-promotion, which is typically what he does. He's a narcissist, and it absolutely shows in this kind of stuff. And here we are. I bluntly experienced more exhaustion and intervention in 2024 than any year since 2020. Please clap, everybody. Some of it I did to myself, and some of it's because of the times. Weird how I find these recent election years so stressful. I've felt more scattered than I have in a long time. Focus has been a real issue for me this year. He did the same thing when Trump won in 2016, 2017. He was saying he was having hard times like writing even 1,000 words of fiction a day. Hilarious stuff right there. But he's been falling off since this point. His quality's fallen off since this point. And so, of course, this is it. In 2025, he says he's going to be spending more time on friendships in the community and cutting back on new spending. So this is pretty interesting as it kind of goes mask off as to what's going to happen, but it gets even worse. Since he's not reporting his stats at this point, I report them for you. Phantom Pulse estimates his monthly traffic to be anywhere from 150,000 to 200,000 at this point. So this is less than half of what it was in his 2015 era at this point. Absolutely crazy. 8 years ago, and he's just declined his traffic by half. I wonder what it could be. Very obviously cutting off half of your audience by telling them they're racist, bigot Nazis, John Scalzi. Imagine that. Half of your audience drops off in over 8 years because you've told half the people to go F themselves because of your hatred and bigotry. And that's what it is, these guys. I'm not gonna mince words about this stuff. These people are hateful. They're bigots against white male conservatives and Christians, and that's what it is. It's not inclusive, it's not diverse. They're not doing that. They just want a little echo chamber that all looks the same. And that's why John Scalzi's pushed echo chambers like Blue Sky so much over places where he'd actually get some pushback for his very controversial content that's out there. By contrast, Phantom Pulse, my Substack here, guys, is doing well over 300,000 views per month. We hit, actually, I think, closer to 350 last month, maybe more. And so we are doing almost 3x what John Scalzi's doing on an average month, which is great. We are the most powerful and trafficked blog in science fiction at this point. They couldn't stop the signal. John Scalzi, of course, attacked me very personally, very hard back when I won a nomination for the Dragon Award back in the day. He wanted my star to kind of just fail, and of course he was very big in the push to get me banned from all these organizations like SIFWA and the World Science Fiction Convention. It didn't work. It didn't matter. The people found me anyway, John Scalzi. I'm able to do things by myself. Very hilarious stuff. So here's what's going on right now is that he's now just dropping his whatever blog. Athena Scalzi here is now going to be the person writing it. This is what she posted. She said, "Hello, everyone. If you saw my father's post yesterday, you know some changes have been in the works for a while and are finally here. Mainly, I've been passed the torch that is whatever, and I plan to carry it proudly. For a few years now, I've been contributing pieces to the blog. In these years, I've gone through phases of posting consistently to barely posting at all. Recently, my contributions have been infrequent, to say the least. The blog has always been part-time, mostly low-priority thing for me, and was more or less, if I wanted to write something, I was free to do so. Now begins a new era. This blog is still whatever, meaning that posts have been varied content based on what we feel like posting. There are certain reoccurring segments that I'd like to do. Some of these ideas are things I have been doing already. Relics of the past I will be reviving, and some will be new. For the most part, what you can expect from me is more of the same, like more movie reviews, checking out restaurants, recipe tasting, travel writing, etc. I'd like to introduce Small Business Saturday posts, do more artist features, keep things fresh with random events and or experiences to go report on. So John Scalzi is now going to be more focusing on his community, and Athena is now turning this into like a restaurant review and travel blog, which doesn't really have much to do with science fiction, doesn't cross over so much with the audience that he originally built. So what I expect out of this, since people go there for John Scalzi and they go there for the guy that they're a fan of, and at least through his books and what he used to write in the past, as this ventures away from science fiction, as it ventures away from the author himself, this is going to be something that's going to collapse even more. it is going to be something that is going to be a problem. And it's another promotional item. Like, all these people are abandoning X where they can promote their books to people who actually read into their little author circle jerk in Blue Sky. That's going to be gone. It's another science fiction relic as the new hotness is taking over, guys. And that new hotness is us. That's Fandom Pulse. Thank you for joining our community here. We're having a great time growing and having so much fun talking about science fiction. What do you think about this? Did you used to read whatever before it became a big political screed rant? Let me know in the comments below. Love to hear from you. Hit the like and subscribe button. Sign up for Fandom Pulse if you've not already. This is where it's at, my friends. We've got the hottest stories all the time, and we've got a bunch going on between myself and John Trent that right there. And please get on board with my series. This is the Oration War. Grab the whole trilogy. Grab Colony Launch, which is a sidequel on this. And then, of course, we're going to be making some great books this year. I'm so excited. I've never had so much fun writing in my life as I'm doing right now with this new trilogy that's going to spin out of this. You're going to absolutely love it. It's in the description below. Get it on ebook, print, or audio today.